So let's take a quick break and show you the basic process. If you remember when we first started, we put together this public domain book by George MacDonald. And I showed you how to do a frontispiece and the title and the copyright page and the table of contents and all that kind of stuff. And we put together this whole book. One thing that I had forgotten to do is you don't have page numbers on the beginnings of chapters, so I opened up the chapter page and I Command-Shift clicked on the page number down here and deleted it, and automatically updated it in the entire book. But that's where we finished it back in section 1 of this course. And so now I wanted to really show you what we have to do for print, because I can't really use this for either version. And so we'll go to print first. The first thing that I had to do was I had to find all the color. And what do I mean by all the color? Well, I'm talking about the color here on the title, and the color here on the table of contents, and the color here on the copyright page. What I did to get rid of that, and let's come back up here to the title. When I come here and select on this to find out what color this stuff is, I go to swatches, and that color is this one. Well, in print, it's got to be grayscale. So I'm going to leave it at 70%, but I'm going to right click on this and I'm going to delete the swatch and replace it with 70% black. Okay, that gets rid of that one. And then up here, and see that got rid of the color in here too, and that got rid of the color over here also. And then up here, I've got a 60% of this purple, and I'm going to delete this one and change it with black also, 60% black. Up here, I'm not too worried about it, but in this one here, this is a 30% green, so I'm going to delete this one also and change it to black. And then if I come up on this paragraph style, ornamented line, and go to the paragraph rule, I'm going to change this one to black. At a half point rule, it's just going to print easier, it's going to be cleaner. And then to keep things so that I know what the heck I'm doing, I'm going to come up here and select all unused, and then I'm going to delete all of them. Okay, and then this, I don't know what the heck that is, so I'm going to delete that. So basically now I've got just white and black ink and none throughout the whole book. I know that there's a little bit of color here in the header. I'm not worried about that at all. There's a little bit of color up here in this one. I'm not worried about that at all. And so I'm just going to revert to this, so go back to the original of this so that I don't lose all this stuff. And we'll come here and we've got the print version, because we've got some other changes that we have to make. First of all, I wanted to, if we get here on the original, this is for blah, blah, blah. Yeah, who cares about that? If I'm actually going to produce this book, I want to delete that. I want to make it all copyright style. For a print book, I want to add a couple pages after the copyright page here. I added 2 pages, get it back up to 8 pages, and I want to add a dedication. I'm going to dedicate it to you guys. Students have taught me more in my life in graphic design than any other factor throughout. I'm going to come up here, and contrary to what we saw here, the light prints is stacked up like that. I'm looking at the cover. The cover has got the light on the same line, and so I'm going to want to come over here, and I'm going to make that the light princess on the same line, and then I'm going to come back up here on the half title, and I'm going to put the light princess in that same font. set up like this, so it looks like this. And so now my front matter looks like this. Now, could I add Radix Press and all that kind of stuff, my publishing name and all that kind of stuff? Of course I could, but I don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to export it, and I've got the Light Princess print. I'm going to make it an Adobe PDF print, and I've got a style here that Create Space will use. I have to take it down to Acrobat 4 because transparency isn't allowed by Create Space, and this will get rid of all of that. I don't worry about bookmarks, hyperlinks. It can't do that anyway. About compression, I don't want to downsample anything. I want it on marks and bleeds. I don't want anything. I can use the document bleed settings because there isn't any. The output, I don't want any color conversion. Under the advanced, I want to make sure that the transparency flattener is high resolution. And I change subset fonts when percent of characters is less than 0. In other words, I don't want my font subset. I want the entire font in there. And so it says all fonts with appropriate embedding bits will be embedded. I know they have appropriate embedding bits because of where I got them. So there shouldn't be any problem with any of this. And I export it. See, pages with transparency won't have hyperlinks, bookmarks, movies, sounds, but that's not part of a book anyway, so I don't care. And so I'm going to click OK. And it's going to come up here, and I come down here and go through and look, and I can just go through except for that header, which is just going to be a light gray, and I don't care anything about that. The only other thing I had done to the one that we talked about in section 1 is I added a blank page at the end because Create Space requires it. So we've got that one done. Now we're going to come back over here and we're going to go to the downloadable version. You say, well, you already had a downloadable version. Well, not really, because if we come up here and we look over here at the Light Princess, I had the cover, and then I had a frontispiece and a title page. That doesn't seem too copacetic. Doesn't sound like that's going to work. I still got to get rid of this paragraph here, and I don't want anything else in a downloadable version to get in the way. So in my download version, I deleted the frontispiece and the title cover, and I just go right from the cover, which is set up as a full bleed, down to the copyright page, down to the contents, and onto the book. Very, very simple. All the colors here. It works fine. And so now I export this as the Light Princess download PDF. And in this particular case, I've got a setting that I call Radix, which is the stuff that I've used for my own company for a number of years. I want to view it after exporting it. I want to optimize it for fast web view. I want to create a tag PDF. I want bookmarks. I want hyperlinks. All the interactive stuff. Still nothing there, nothing there. The output. And now in advanced, it just says high resolution, but it's not going to do it because I'm in Acrobat 5 now, which allows transparency. So I export this. And it opens up, and as you can see, I've got a PDF like this. This is basically all I need. For a book like this, I'm not going to make an FXL. There just wouldn't be any sales for it. If I'm going to do anything, I'm going to use the downloadable PDF in the Kindle Print Replica, and we'll show you how to do that in a little bit. Well, heck, I might as well do it right now. It's free software that you download, and here's the Kindle Textbook Creator. We'll show you how incredibly difficult this is. Create new textbook from file. And I want to come to here. Light Princess versions. I want print download. I want to open. It's importing. And At this point, would you like us to convert and preserve the links? Well, I probably should have added some links, but I didn't, but I'll just say yes. And then I will package it. Save changes before packaging, yes. And then what do I want to save it as? I want to come up here into Light Princess versions, and I want to save it as Kindle Textbook, Light Princess, and save it. And first I'm going to save the KPF file, and so I'm going to save that back in here, and I'll save that. Your file has been packaged for publishing. Please upload and submit your packaged public file for distribution to Kindle. And the one that I want is the one that I put right there, the HSLIG textbook KPS. Okay. And that's ready to upload to Kindle. It will be a print replica version. It will not be a reflowable. And I usually upload both of them. And so that's as complicated as it gets as far as setting up. You always have a newer version, so I'll install it and we won't worry about that. But that's all you have to do to get your print replica versions.